My video on making connections using tables, graphs, and equations, and also we will look at ordered pairs as well. So a linear equation can be represented in four ways. We have table, graph, equation, and then a verbal description, which we are not going to get into verbal descriptions today, but we will eventually. And I also mentioned ordered pairs, which can go along with the table, because a table is if you put the x and the y together, it is an ordered pair. So we want to know how to match the different representations to each other. So the first type we're going to look at is how to go from a table to a graph. So the first step is to plot all points from the table on the graph. Okay, so let me move this up so we can see all the graphs at once. Okay, so we have -1, -5. So this is what it would look like as an ordered pair. Okay, and we would go start at the origin, go -1, -5, and you see it's not there. So we can cross that out. Okay, we're going to do the same with graph B. We're going to go over to -1 and down to -5. And once again, the line does not cross through that point. So we check C, -1, -5, it does. 1, -1, so we're going to go over to 1, down to -1, it does. And we're going to go over to 2, up to 1, and it does. And over to 4, up to 5, and it does. So the correct answer is choice C. Now let's see why graph D doesn't work. We can go over to -1, down to -5, and look, the very first one fails. Okay. Now you need to go through all of them because sometimes you might get a couple points, the first one to work, and then the others might not work. So make sure you're checking all the points like we did to find that the correct answer was C. Okay, so let's write in here, sorry, hopefully you didn't turn the page yet, plot all ordered pairs. Okay, now we can turn the page, and we're going to look at tables to equations. So it says plot the points from the table, count to find the slope, and then count to find the y-intercept. So we're going to use the slope to continue the pattern and find the y-intercept. So all we need to find the slope is just 2 points. So I'm going to graph these 2 points right here. And if you look at 523, it won't even fit on my graph. But that's okay. We only need 2 points. So we're going to graph 1, 7, and we're going to go over to 1, up to 7 right here. And then the next one is 3, 15. So we're going to go over to 3, up to 15. And this is very difficult to see here. Okay, now we are going to use those 2 points to find the slope. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my rise is +8 and my run is +2. So we're going to write m equals 8 divided by 2, which actually simplifies to 4. And what I can do, so I have a slope of 4, okay, so it's looking like, well, only choice B has a slope of 4. But let me show you something because it won't always be that easy. Sometimes there will be more than one equation with a slope of 4. So what we would have to do is actually put a 1 underneath so that I can graph these other points. And remember, if I want to go the opposite way in a positive slope, I have to make them both negative. So I'm going to go down -4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. So right here. And then I'm going to go down 4 over 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And you see that the y-intercept here is 3. So the equation would be 4x plus 3 because it crosses the y-axis at positive 3. Okay, and we can go ahead and connect these points. Whoops, and make our line. Okay, and our last tip here, or our last idea on this page is tips for matching representations. It says identify each representation that describes the relation shown in the table below. Okay, so the first thing we can do is I notice that the x is 0, so that's my y-intercept. But if you look at the graphs, they both have a y-intercept of 1. Okay, so what I can do is I can actually, okay, there's 0, 1, there's 0, 1. We can actually graph the other points. So we have -2, -3, nope. And we have -2, -3, yep. And then we have 0, 1 already, and we have 3, 7. That would be up here and right here. And I can't tell if it goes through that point, but watch us. I can do rise 4 over 2 and rise, sorry, 4 over 2, and 4 divided by 2 is 2 over 1. So I can continue this pattern, 2 over 1, 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 and yup, it does cross through that point. And remember, 2 over 1 is actually a slope of 2. Okay, so I'm going to circle this representation, and I know the slope is 2. Oops, let's go back and add m here. And I know that the y-intercept is 1. So that means the equation should be 2x plus 1. So y equals 2x plus 1 right there. And then finally, so that eliminates that one, and we eliminated this one. So now we're picking between ordered pairs here. So we just see which ones are on this line. So we have -1, -1 right here. Okay. We have 2, 5 right here. And then, of course, 4, 9, 7, 15. If we continued the slope, we would find that we would hit on those points. Okay, so the correct answer is that one. And if you look here, -3, -7 would be way down here, and I know it's not going to cross that point because it's going this way. Actually, I don't know what I was talking about there. Sorry. -3, -7, I can't tell, but look here. The line is going this way, and then of course 1, 1, I can tell that that's not on the line. Okay, that concludes our notes on making connections with tables and graphs and equations. I hope you have a great day.